guys, Mary from SVG Cuts here, and I'm in our brand new video studio, which is super awesome, super well lit, and I'm really excited about all the fun new videos that we're going to be making for you guys going forward. So the coolest thing about this new kit is just the antique vintage feel that it has going. And Leo and I discovered a really cool little antique shop in our town here, and we've just been really inspired by all the cool old stuff that we've been finding. And so we had a lot of fun drawing on a little inspiration from that. So my favorite part of this kit is definitely this cute little curio shelf. And I just love little tiny doodaddy things, but I don't usually ever pick any of them up because I think, well, gosh, where am I going to put those? But I had a lot of fun looking specifically for some little tiny doodads in my antique shop for this project. And the cool thing is that you can put photos in each of these spots if you want to, and you can easily cut them out on your machine using the photo templates that I have included. So I'll show you how to do that. You just line it up on your mat and you let your cutting machine cut the picture out at the perfect size. Or you can also just fill it up with paper or just cute little trinkets. I think I'm going to make this pretty soon for my parents' anniversary coming up, and I'm just going to fill it up with some old pictures of them together and maybe a couple buttons and brads and cute stuff. So I had a lot of fun picking out some old vintage photos and making copies of them and reprinting them so that I could feel free to cut them out. So if you have some old family photos laying around that you would want to share with the rest of your family, you could always make a copy of it and then make a cool card or scrapbook it. And like I was saying with the photo template, the cool thing is that you can just take your photo, take your template that you've cut out, and you just align it on your mat the proper way. And I've already done a video showing how to do this, so just click here and you can watch the video on how to use the photo template to cut it out at the perfect size. So that's really cool because it makes it really easy to just get the perfect size photo, glue it together, super quick, super cool, and people are going to love seeing some pictures resurrected from the past or even some new pictures with a new twist using like modern paper. So of course, if we're dealing with pictures and vintage pictures, it's a lot of fun to do a whole entire scrapbook page. And of course, with these oval shaped pictures, I also used the photo template so that your machine can cut them out at the perfect size. And then just these other shapes, like the background scallop shape here, is going to be super useful on other scrapbook pages. And I had a lot of fun embellishing with coordinating buttons, brads, and ribbon and everything. So that is super fun. So as you can see right here, it says brothers, which I've spelled out with letters. But you could make it say anything that you would want to make it say by either just cutting out letters in Scal, or the way that I did it was I have one of these Shape Studio tools from Epiphany Crafts, and mine is the round 14, and it is a 1/2 inch wide. Each of these little guys is a 1/2 inch wide. I think this is probably the most common size of these tools, so I think some of you guys already have these. If you do, you can have fun doing exactly what I did to make it look like typewriter keys where it says brothers, or here how I have it saying joy. So the way that I did that was I printed out this PDF that comes in your download, and then I took my Shape Studio tool and I just punched out the letters that I wanted, and I turned it into a cute little typewriter key looking embellishment, which is super fun. And once we sit down here, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. So finally, we've got our super cute little book here, and the way that this opens is really cool. It's just like the little books that you might pick up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby to store some stuff in. So that's going to be really fun to embellish any way you want. Mine obviously has like an antique vintage look to it, but you could go kind of any way and just make it your own, make it super cool. So when I found this paper at Archivers, I like jumped on it. I'm like, gotta have that, love it, love it. And it's called Weekend Market by Bo Bunny, and it has really cool stuff like these suitcase labels and like rulers here, and it all has a really nice vintage look to it, and it's kind of distressed and really rich and warm. So that was really fun to work with for this. But antique and vintage stuff is pretty hot right now, so it should be easy to find similar paper if you want to get a similar look. So I have all my pieces cut out for the 3-dimensional items, and I'm going to show you how they go together. I'm going to show you the book, and I'm also going to show you my cute little curio shelf here. So let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to put together my cute little curio shelf, and I've got my 2 exterior pieces here, and this shape cuts out with 6 of these little like ovals with 2 circles in them, and you just glue 3 on one side and 3 on the other side, and that is just there to reinforce the holes when you put your ribbon or your wire through. So those are the 2 pieces on the outside, and then I've also got my 4 pieces which make up the inside. And 3 of them I've already glued around, and I just took those other 3 pieces and I glued it like this so that these pieces are sticking outwards. So what you don't want is it to be with these pieces sticking inwards. They need to be going out. So just go ahead and glue your tab and put it in place, and you want the tab to be on the outside of the piece, because if it's on the inside then you're going to be able to see it when you're all done. So I've got my tab on the outside, and now let's set all these aside except for one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look and see if I have any like funny edges or anything that looks strange, and I want that to be in the back. This piece is perfect, so it doesn't really matter. But if I had like a tear or something right here, I wouldn't want to put that right in the front. So go ahead and put glue on all 4 tabs going around, getting it all the way out to the corner. And then just start with one side at a time. And I'm lining up this side right here, making sure that the corners line up with the corners on the bottom piece. And then I'm just going to work my way around one tab at a time here. I'm just pushing this one down, and then the other side down. And I'm just being nice and careful to line it up, because the more careful I am, the more perfect it's going to be, which is always nice. So now I'm just going to do the same thing with the other pieces. And just a little tip to make my life a little easier, I'm going to bend this tab out of the way so that I can see what I'm doing over here. And then when I glue this one down here, my finger's not really going to fit in there, so I'm going to go grab either a pen or like a bone folder or just something that I can stick in there and use to push it down. So go ahead and put your other 3 windows in place. So all 4 of my windows are in place, and next I'm going to, anywhere where these tabs are overlapping, I'm going to put some glue here, and I'm going to fold this over. I'm also going to do that right here, and of course also right here. So go ahead and glue those down. It's starting to get nice and stable. And if you've ever made our advent calendar for Christmas, you've probably noticed that this is almost the same, except that there's no doors on the front of the project. So if you've never made the advent calendar and you make this, then you will feel totally empowered to take it on, because it's super cool. And it's also really sturdy, just like this little guy, because there's so many like right angles that are glued together that it makes it really strong. So that is fun. And if you're using double-sided paper for these interior pieces, you can also flip some of them around the opposite way to show off the other side of your paper, which is actually what I did in here a little bit on my other one. Okay, so those are in place. Now we're going to start to put the sides in place by just taking one side at a time. Oops. And I'm just starting over here on this side. I'm going to hold it while it dries a little bit. And then I'm going to put glue along here and also on this piece here. Now if you want to stop here and add whatever handle you're going to have on the top in the holes, you can. I actually added mine at the end because I used wire, and I was able to just shape it into like a little hook shape and just get it in there. So either way, it's probably a little easier to do it right now while it's open. But it's not the end of the world if you want to wait till the end to put that on. So as you can probably guess, I'm just going to do the same thing all the way around until my piece is closed up. And then I'm simply going to put glue all the way around, take my back piece and put it right on there and just scooch it around until it's perfectly centered. And then I will have my super cool curio shelf, just like this one. So now let's make our cute little three-dimensional book here. And there are 3 pieces that make up the cover of the book, and there's just 1 piece that makes up the pages. So set the pages aside, let's worry about the cover first. So these pieces are slightly different. The longer one here, there's one that has a longer piece on the end, and that is going to go on the face of the book. The other one goes on the back. So first, let's take care of the face of the book. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick a tab here and just add a nice thin, even layer of glue all the way out to the corners. And just go ahead and close that up, making sure that the edge lines up with the fold as best I can here. And definitely just hold it while it dries a little bit so it's nice and even. And then go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Might have been a little easier if I put this glue on at the same time as the other glue. I'm gonna have to tuck it in, which still works. Okay. So this is forming the face of the book here. And then this part needs some glue on this tab here, which I will tuck inside. And I want everything to be at right angles, at least as closely as possible. And now this piece is just going to be left as is. So that is the face of our book, which is going to open like this. I'm going to set that aside. Now let's do the back. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Just put a nice thin line or thin layer of glue on both of these. So I've taken my longer tab and I've tucked it around on the inside without any glue on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put a thin little line of glue on the inside. And I'm going to hold it while it dries a little bit. And I'm also going to put a thin line of glue right in here and fold up this piece. And just hold that while it dries. Okay, next I'm going to take my cover and the back part here, and I'm going to glue them together just like this. So I'm going to put a nice little line of glue on this piece here, and that is going to go right onto this cover piece. And I want to line up the sides here. I want to line up the edge with the fold. And now I'm going to set this aside so it can be nice and dry while I whip up my pages here. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on one of these small corner tabs and hold that while it dries. And do the same thing all the way around. Just put a nice little thin layer of glue on each one of them. And then these at the end, these are going to get folded down and around, just to add some stability to the whole entire little box here. And just glue up your final tab there. And then we can go ahead and put glue on the inside of each of these tabs and fold them all down so that they're glued into a nice firm little box shape. So next we're going to put our little spine on our book. And if you have like the edge of a table or a bone folder or something that you can use to kind of give this a little bit of a curve, that is going to help you more easily glue it into place. So now let's just put glue on one of these tabs here. And that is going to get glued right to the edge of your cover. So line up the two folds and hold that while it dries completely, and then go ahead and put glue on this one and put that into place on the other side of your book. So that's going to give it a nice curved little spine. And then when that is all dry, you can go ahead and put glue all on the bottom of your little box and also on the side, and just glue that right into the center of your book. And when you do it, yours will be more perfect than my example. But here's my little finished book, and it's all glued into place, and it looks super cute. So then you can go ahead and add your spine embellishments and your front embellishments. So here's this little bonus that I was talking about to make these little typewriter key looking embellishments. If you've got the Epiphany Crafts Shape Studio Round 14 tool like I do, you can use this little printout that comes with your download. And let's say that I wanted to cut out the letter E here. I'm going to take my cutout and lift off the top. This little piece comes out for now, and I slide my little E into where I want it. Then I take one of these little bubble caps that goes specifically with this size of tool and make sure that my E's in the right place, and then I put my little dot on there. Then I do that to punch it out. Then I put this little guy back in there, which then just like pushes it further down onto the adhesive. And I've got my cute little E all done. And then to make it look like a typewriter key, I cut out these little guys. There's 5 little circles. They all get glued together, and it just goes right on top of it, which goes on top of this circle to hold it all together. So I hope you had fun watching, and I hope you have fun if you make any of these crafts. And if you do, you'll have to share a picture with us on our Facebook wall or in our forum, and I'll catch you next time. So thanks for watching, and happy crafting!
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle.